Hey everyone, I'm Serene, and welcome to my channel where we're going to reveal the truth behind everyday things. You've probably heard that bulls hate red or that shaving makes your hair grow thicker, but guess what? These are all lies you've been told your whole life. We're diving deep into the origins of these lies and exposing the surprising truths you never knew. Let's reveal. Okay, let's talk hydration. We've all heard it. Drink 8 glasses of water a day. But guess what? This is one of those facts that sounds right but falls apart with a little digging. The truth is, there's no magic number when it comes to water intake. Your needs vary depending on your activity level, climate, and diet. Many fruits and vegetables are packed with water too, like watermelon and cucumbers. So, how much water should you actually be drinking? Listen to your body. Thirst is a natural indicator, and if you're feeling parched, drink up. Picture a Viking warrior in your mind. If you imagined a horned helmet, you've been tricked. This iconic image is a complete fabrication. There's zero archaeological evidence to support the existence of horned helmets in Viking culture. So, where did this idea come from? We can thank the 19th century and their love of dramatic opera. Costume designers for Wagnerian operas decided to outfit their Viking characters with horned helmets. These horned helmets played into the existing stereotypes of Vikings as savage barbarians. But the reality is far more interesting. Vikings were skilled navigators, traders, and craftspeople. So, the next time you see a horned Viking helmet, remember, you're looking at a theatrical prop, not a historical artifact. We've all heard talk about the dark side of the moon, a mysterious and unseen hemisphere shrouded in perpetual darkness. Well, prepare to be disappointed, because the dark side of the moon is a myth. The moon, as it orbits our planet, is tidally locked with Earth. This means that the same side of the moon always faces us, but both sides experience day and night cycles just like Earth does. The side we don't see isn't perpetually dark, it's just perpetually facing away from us. A better term to use is the far side of the moon. Thanks to modern technology, we even have images of it. In 1959, the Soviet Luna 3 spacecraft beamed back the first photographs of the far side. So, while the dark side of the moon might make for a cool song title, it's time to retire this inaccurate term from our vocabulary. Let's talk about bulls for a second. These magnificent creatures have been the subject of many myths and misconceptions over the years. Specifically, the age-old belief that bulls charge at the color red. This idea has been perpetuated by countless movies, cartoons, and even traditional bullfighting events. It's a classic image: the matador, cape swirling, the bull snorting and pawing the ground before charging headlong at the crimson cloth. This dramatic scene has been etched into our collective consciousness. But I'm here to tell you, this entire spectacle is based on a myth. The truth is far more fascinating and rooted in science. Bulls, like many other mammals, are red-green colorblind. This means they cannot distinguish between red and green hues. They don't see red the way we do. To a bull, the red cape might appear as a shade of gray or brown. What's actually triggering the bull's charge is the movement of the cape itself. The rapid, unpredictable motion catches the bull's attention. The matador is waving this large, brightly colored object around. It's the motion, not the color, that the bull finds provocative. To the bull, it's a perceived threat, something that's moving quickly and erratically in its space. This triggers its natural instinct to charge and confront the threat. The color red is simply a theatrical element. It's chosen for its visibility and dramatic effect, not because it incites the bull. It adds to the drama of the bullfight, but it has no bearing on the bull's behavior. The audience is captivated by the vibrant color, but the bull is reacting to the movement. So, the next time you see a bullfight, remember, you're not witnessing a display of color-induced rage. Instead, you're seeing a complex interaction of instincts and stimuli, where movement, not color, plays the starring role. Napoleon Bonaparte, brilliant military strategist, Emperor of France, and surprisingly average in height. Yes, you heard that right. Despite the popular belief that Napoleon was a short man, historical evidence suggests otherwise. The image of Napoleon as a short, power-hungry dictator is a historical myth. This misconception has been perpetuated over the years, but it's time to set the record straight. The myth likely stems from differing units of measurement. During Napoleon's time, the French and British used different systems, which led to confusion and misinterpretation of his actual height. At the time, the French used a unit called the pouce, which was slightly larger than the British inch. This difference in measurement units played a significant role in the height confusion. Napoleon's height was recorded as 5 feet 2 inches in French units, which translates to about 5 feet 6 inches in British units. This conversion is crucial to understanding the true nature of his stature. Now, 5'6" might seem short by today's standards, but in early 19th century France, that was actually about average height for a man. In fact, many of his contemporaries were of similar height. British propagandists seized on this discrepancy in measurement, using it to mock and belittle the French emperor. They created a narrative that painted Napoleon as a diminutive figure, both in stature and character. Cartoons depicting Napoleon as a tiny, temperamental tyrant became all the rage. These satirical images were widely circulated and contributed to the enduring myth of his short stature. The truth is, Napoleon was a complex and fascinating figure who left an undeniable mark on history. His military genius and political acumen reshaped Europe and left a legacy that endures to this day. It's time to retire this outdated and inaccurate stereotype and appreciate Napoleon for the historical giant he was. His height, whether average or not, does not diminish the towering impact he had on the world stage. Raise your hand if you've ever been told that shaving makes your hair grow back thicker. It's a common belief that many of us have heard from friends, family, or even seen in movies and TV shows. But have you ever stopped to wonder if there's any truth to it? It's one of those pieces of wisdom that gets passed down through generations. But I'm here to tell you, it's simply not true. Despite what you might have heard from your parents or grandparents, shaving does not cause your hair to grow back thicker or faster. Shaving does not magically increase hair growth or thickness. The act of shaving merely cuts the hair at the surface level, without influencing the hair follicle beneath the skin. When you shave, you're only cutting off the hair at the surface of your skin. This means that the hair follicle, which is the part of the hair responsible for growth, remains unaffected. You're not affecting the hair follicle itself, which is located beneath the skin surface and is responsible for hair growth. The follicle continues to produce hair at the same rate and thickness as it did before you shaved. So, while it might feel like your hair is growing back thicker after shaving, it's really just an illusion. The sensation of thicker hair is due to the way the hair is cut and how it grows back. When you shave, you're creating a blunt edge on the hair shaft. This blunt edge can feel different from the natural tapered end of an unshaven hair. This blunt edge can feel coarser and stubblier as it grows out, giving the appearance of thicker hair. The stubbly feel is often mistaken for increased thickness, but it's just the nature of the cut hair. Additionally, because you're cutting the hair off at the surface, you're seeing the hair at its widest point. This can make the hair look more prominent and thicker than it actually is. The truth is, your hair is naturally tapered. The tip of an unshaven hair is finer and softer, which is why it feels different from the blunt end of a shaved hair. When you shave, you're removing that tapered end, making the hair appear thicker than it actually is. This is purely a visual and tactile illusion, not a change in the hair's actual properties. Shaving might change the way your hair looks and feels as it grows out, but it's not altering the fundamental structure of your hair follicles. The follicles continue to function as they always have, producing hair of the same thickness and growth rate. So next time you hear someone say that shaving makes your hair grow back thicker, you can confidently tell them that it's just a myth. Understanding the science behind hair growth can help dispel these common misconceptions and give you a clearer picture of how your body really works. Let's talk about brains, specifically the pervasive myth that we only use 10% of our brain power. This idea has been the driving force behind countless movies and self-help books. But here's the truth. It's complete and utter nonsense. Neuroscientists have repeatedly debunked this myth. Brain imaging studies have consistently shown that we use virtually every part of our brain on a daily basis. Even simple tasks, like walking or talking, require the coordinated effort of multiple brain regions. The human brain is an incredibly complex organ, responsible for everything from regulating our breathing and heartbeat to processing language and solving complex equations. The 10% myth is a classic example of a scientific-sounding idea that's been completely taken out of context. You use all of your brain, and that's a good thing, because you need it all to navigate the complexities of everyday life. So there you have it, folks. 7 common myths, debunked and dismantled. It's amazing how these misconceptions take root and spread, often becoming so ingrained in our collective consciousness that we never stop to question them. But questioning is important. It's how we learn, how we grow, and how we avoid being misled by misinformation. The next time you encounter a fact that seems a little too strange or too good to be true, don't be afraid to dig a little deeper. Do your research, consult reputable sources, and don't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing.